Hey legends, it's Aqua, and today we're going to do my thoughts and opinions on the new Breyer 2025 releases. I'm not going to do any of the BreyerFest models in this video. I'll do a separate video for that when they're all released, but I have to say the BreyerFest models this year are actually looking really good. So anyways, we're gonna do the Stablemates and the Traditionals in this video because I'm not a classics collector, so there's no point in really looking at them. So I've got my handy dandy iPad here in front of me, and we're gonna start with the Stablemates Club models. So the first one is Elena. Now, I have been kind of getting into minis as of late. I don't know if you guys have really noticed, but I've actually been collecting a couple of venti scale models the last couple of months. So I'm slowly starting to get into minis, but I'm very picky about which minis I like. So Elena is really cute, I have to say. She's on the Tennessee walking horse, and she's a black Tobiano. I do really love the ribbon in her hair. The color's really pretty. It's my favorite color, so yeah, she's really cute. The next one we're going to look at is Chickadee. Now, Chickadee is actually the gambler's choice for the Stablemates Club this year, and she's got 4 different variations. So the first one is a chestnut roan Tobiano Pinto, and I think she's my favorite variation. She reminds me a lot of the Solante Surprise from 2020, BreyerFest Surprise model. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2020, but she was on the Giselle mold, and oh my god, she's so pretty. I have her in my collection, so she's a really pretty little stablemate. The next variation is a glossy silver black with dapples, and although she's quite simple, I actually kind of like the color of her. She's really nice. The shading's really pretty. It looks almost metallic in a way. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this mold, but I have to say the colors they've chosen are really pretty. The next variation is a metallic color shift leopard Appaloosa. It's like a purpley blue kind of color shift, and it's actually really cool. I'm not a huge fan of decorators, so I won't be going after this model in any way. The next one is a Palomino blanket Appaloosa, and I think this is the first variation that they showed, or at least it's in the promo picture that they have anyway. And she's actually really nice. Breyer's photo, I don't think does her justice. I don't know what it is with their Palominos, but they always look greenish in their photos. I have a feeling she's actually a really nice color, so Breyer, you really need to up your game when it comes to editing photos of your Palominos. They always look not very nice. The next stablemate is actually one that I probably will end up getting at some point because I have been wanting to paint a Pegasus for a very long time. The next one is Harbinger. He's a Pegasus on the Lipizzaner stallion, the rearing one, and he is a decorator, but like I said, I want to get one just to customize because he is so cool. I love the wings, and the fact that he's rearing is just even cooler, so that's Harbinger. I think this is the last one? No, it's not. The next one is Java. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's the matte and glossy split, I'm pretty sure. He's on the Peruvian Paso, and he's like a chestnut kind of Overo / Sabino kind of variation. I think Breyer's photo makes him look like a Cheeto. He looks very orange, but I think he is a pretty nice model overall, so. The next model is Madonna. She's on the new Arabian Mare stablemate, and she's like a flea bitten grey with a bloody shoulder kind of thing going on. It's almost like a mutation that's just covering her body, but anyway, I think she's cute. Up close, it looks like Breyer kind of just painted on the bloody mutation, so it just looks a little bit funky, but I think she's cute. Probably not one that I'll end up getting, but she is really pretty. The next one is Mercutio. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, so don't quote me on that. He's on the brand new Othello stablemate, and I actually really like him. I think he's actually a miniature version of Churchill, which was a Breyer volunteer model. I can't remember what year it's from, but he is really cute, and I think I might actually end up getting him. The only thing I don't like about the Othello stablemate is his tail. It just looks strange. I don't know what the secret is behind using a different kind of tail for him, but it just looks really funky. Anyway, moving on. I think this is the last stablemate in the Stablemates Club. This is Spencer. He's on the Silky Sullivan molds. I'm pretty sure that's right. And he is like a bay Appaloosa. It's like a blood bay Appaloosa. He's very red. Not a huge fan of the molds. The color is alright, I guess. But yeah, the mold's kind of just off-putting for me because I don't really collect vintage molds, so. Okay, moving on. We have the Collector Club, actually it's the Deluxe Collector Club model. And I think this guy actually has variations for a change. Usually it's just the one model and you get it if you pay for the membership. But this guy, his name is Darius. He has 5 variations from what I can tell. The first variation is the Bay Appaloosa, and I actually really like this model. He is a vintage mold, so I'm not a huge fan, but his color is really, really nice. If they did a traditional version, I'd be all over him. He's like a seal bay, but like he has a silver tail, which is kind of cool actually. He's a blanket Appaloosa and he's really, really pretty. So that's the first variation. And then I think the 4 other variations are like decorators. So the first one, I think it's a Copenhagen. I think that's how you say it. It's like a dark blue, turquoisey aqua kind of color. Oh, it's an awkward color. And he's just got like white splattering all over him. Not a fan. Don't collect decorators, so I don't really like him all that much. The next one is a gold charm variation. Yeah, it's just simple, gold with a little bit of white for his mane and tail and legs and face. Then we have a gold Florentine, which is just like a golden version of the Copenhagen version. Not a huge fan. And then the last variation is a Wedgwood Blue, which I think a lot of people are gonna want. I think any Wedgwood Blue model is super popular, so I think a lot of people are gonna be trying to find this guy. So that's all of the stablemates. Now we can move on to the traditionals. Now the first one is the American Quarter Horse Association 85th anniversary model. His name is Ramunda, I think that's how you say it, or Ramunda. He's on the Ideal American Quarter Horse mold and I don't like him. He is very simple, silver with a little bit of like kind of shading in there. He's got weird, I don't know if they're zodiac signs or something on him or if it's like brands for American quarter horses. I'm uncertain, but I am not a huge fan. The next model is Big Lex, and I don't know how I feel about this guy. I'm pretty sure he's the mascot for the Kentucky Horse Park. I'm pretty sure that's right. And I do really like Big Lex, so I'm like super on the fence about this model. He does look a little funky, but I think it's on purpose. Like he's painted blue, but then like the black shading, it looks almost like it's been hand painted on. So I don't know if that's on purpose, but it's actually kind of a cool little touch that Breyer included. The next model is Cloud. Now, funny story with this guy, I did actually paint a portrait of Cloud on the Desatato mold a few years ago as a portrait for a friend. So it's kind of funny that Breyer actually released this guy on the same mold that I did a couple years ago. So I'm definitely gonna be getting this guy. I'm a huge Cloud fan. I have like all 3 DVDs from Ginger Catherine's like story of how she found Cloud and met him in their journey together. So I do really love Cloud and I will definitely be getting this guy. The next model is Surfer's Riptide, and I was actually surprised that Breyer released a regular run on this mold, even though they literally just released him in the Premier Club last year. So they also have a BreyerFest special run on this mold, so I don't know what they're doing, but anyway, I like it. I am definitely going to be getting him. His color is really pretty, his mane and tail is gorgeous, and I just love the 4 socks and the face marking. Like, I don't know what it is, but Welshies, I just love 4 socks on Welshies for some reason, and I love stripes down their faces too. So like, I definitely will be getting this guy. The next model is the Ideal Series model. It's a buckskin variation this year. Every year they do like a different version of a quarter horse on the Geronimo mold. In the last couple years, they've done a chestnut, a paint, a palomino. I think there's other ones, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. But this guy is actually really, really pretty. I think Breyer's photos kind of make him look a little bit greenish. I think he is actually a super nice color in person. He doesn't really look like a buckskin, if I'm being honest though. He looks more like a dun, but it's fine. He's really pretty, and I might actually end up getting this guy and adding him to my collection. The next model we're going to look at is the 75th anniversary Western horse. Now I think Breyer just released like a plethora of models for their 75th anniversary this year. So this one is the first one, and it's on the Western mold, I'm pretty sure. Not a fan. The color's really pretty, but I don't collect vintage models, so I won't be getting him. The next one is on the Lonesome Glory mold, and if I'm being totally honest, I'm not a huge fan of the markings that they've done. It's a really cool idea to have like Breyer horses scattered on, like, to make it look like markings, but I'm not a decorator person, so I'm not really drawn to it in any way. It's a cool idea though, and the color for the Lonesome Glory is really pretty. He's almost like a blood bay kind of, with a bit of a silver mane and tail. And then the next one is on the Esprit, or the Esprit mold, however you want to pronounce it. And he's like a black paint with the really cool Breyer markings, so that's really cool. The next model we're going to look at is Maddox, and he is one of the Collector Club exclusives. He's like a regular run for Collector Club members, and I actually really like this guy. I think he's a good contrast to the original Altanai, which was the Aquatic that was first released in the Premier Club. He's like a soft dappled grey with a really cute face marking and 3 socks. He's really pretty, and I will definitely be getting him. The next model is from the Vintage Club, and as I said before, I don't collect vintage models, so I'm not a huge fan of this one. But overall, I think it's actually a pretty cool release. It's the Western horse with a clock beside him on a stand, which is really nice. So I think a lot of vintage collectors are going to be really happy with that release. And now we can move on to the Premier Club. Now, I was seriously debating whether I was going to join the club again this year, and at the very last minute, and I mean at the very last minute, I decided to just get a membership again. So I'm part of the Premier Club again this year. So the first release is Winifred. She's a mule, and she actually has 2 variations because Breyer decided they wanted to have a little fun with the Premier Club releases this year. So she is actually a red sorrel, and that is like the main color variation. The other color variation is a gray, and there's only like 75 of them. Is that right? She's a micro run, so I think a lot of collectors in the Premier Club are going to be hanging on the edge of their seat and waiting to see if they actually get the micro run or not. But honestly, I think she's a really pretty model. I'm not a huge fan of the actual paintwork. I think it just looks a little bit odd, if I'm being honest. But I really love the sculpt, so it'll be a matter of whether I want to keep her as original or if I want to customize her when I do get her. So she's really cute. The next model is actually the reason I joined. I was absolutely thrilled to find that they're releasing another pony this year. So it's a Highland pony, or a sport pony, because Breyer decided they wanted to have 2 variations of this model. So the first variation is a long mane and tail variation. So he's a Highland pony stallion. They're both named Rowan, but the other variation is a braided variation, and she's a mare. So I don't know what Breyer's doing, but oh my god, it's so frustrating. So I decided to get the stallion variation because I love my long mane and tails. I just had to get the long mane and tail variation. He's really pretty. I love the color. The color is gorgeous. He's almost like he's a buckskin, but it's like kind of a gray. It's really odd, but I really love it. He's got soft dappling through him. His mane and tail goes from light to dark, and I love it. And then of course the sport mare variation with the braided mane and the braided tail is the same color, but of course they have a different mane and tail variation, and she's really cute too. So I might end up getting her at some point afterwards because I couldn't have both, which is so upsetting, but anyway. And then of course the last release for the Premier Club, I was actually surprised that Breyer just, you know, revealed every single release because usually they keep it hidden, but it's fine. Honestly, I'm really happy that they did reveal all the models for this year. The next one is Cosimo, and he's a Merguez. A Merguez? I can never pronounce the name of the breed correctly. He's really, really pretty, but once again, Breyer had to throw in a little twist and go with a matte and glossy variation. So we had to make two choices with our Premier Club models. Either pick a pony with a long mane and tail or a braided mane and tail, and then we've got this guy, which you either pick a matte or a glossy. So I went with the matte variation because I prefer the realistic look. And I actually kind of like this guy. I was a little skeptical at first because he looked a little bit strange, but I think it was just the angle that Breyer took their photo. His color is actually really, really nice. He's a dappled black. I think when I get him in hand, it'll be a matter of whether I want to keep him as original finish or if I want to customize him. I think that's going to be the theme for this year for me, is do I want to keep my models in original finish or do I want to customize it? So yeah, so that's all of the models for 2025 that we know about as of January 2025. All the BreyerFest models they released this year are really, really nice, but like I said, I will do a separate video for them when they're all released. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe to my channel. Check out my Instagram at aqua.models, and I will see you in my next video. Stay legendary.